Please turn to responsive reading number 439. We gather in reverence. We gather in reverence before the wonder of life.
The wonder of this moment.
The wonder of being together, so close, yet so apart.
Each hidden in our own secret chamber.
Each listening, each trying to speak.
Yet none fully understanding, none fully understand.
We gather in reverence before all intangible things. The eyes see not, nor ears can detect.
That hands can never touch, that space cannot hold, and time cannot measure.
I personally struggle with even the slightest mention of politics in this place. I think that's for two reasons. One is because I want a break from it when I'm here. I want to rise above it. I want to think bigger thoughts. The other reason is because I hope desperately that if you have come here having voted differently than I did, that you will still feel welcome. Challenged maybe, but welcome. If you are like me, listening to the news lately makes you feel sorrow, grief, anger, and fear. In this place, we believe in human rights, and we believe you should have those no matter what kind of human you are. We do not ignore threats to that core principle. Our hearts do not allow us to pretend they don't exist. So as I listen to the news, I feel the muscles in my neck tighten. I feel a helplessness and a deep discomfort. I taste an acid within me, turning my teeth to liquid. I smell on myself a stink of fear breaking through my Old Spice. What to do? Well, I'm going to tell you. First, briefly, the basics. Self-care. Over many years, as complicated as I thought I was, I have learned, and I'm still learning, that caring for myself is the foundation of fixing my problems and of all the change I want to see in the world. Remember the acronym FWOOSH, FWOOSHE. F is for food. Eat healthy food in a healthy way. W is for water. Drink it. O is for outside. Go there. Stand in awe of nature. The second O is for other people. We need each other. It's why we're here now. Find ways to spend time with other human beings face to face. And H is for hygiene. Brush your teeth, take a shower, wash your clothes. E is for exercise. Even something as small as standing up once an hour will change your life for the better. And please indulge me a quick ode to cold showers, which have changed my life. I know when I say cold shower, you might be thinking of half an hour in 40-degree water and nestling up with hypothermia. No. For me, even slightly cool water for a few seconds, enough to make me hitch my breath for a moment, is enough to turn a dark day a little brighter. Cool water on the body triggers the release of norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, cortisol, and endorphins. These regulate emotions and reward processing. They calm the autonomic nervous system, which regulates stress. If you have a heart condition, ask your doctor first, and turn that dial a little to the right. Now, breathing. The oldest parts of our brain don't know the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a looming deadline. That old part of the brain thinks in both cases that we must ramp up our stress hormones, tense our muscles, and get ready to fight for our lives. But most threats are not saber-toothed tigers. We need to reprogram the old part of our brain. And one of the ways you can do that is with breathing. My layman's understanding is that the vagus nerve, the vagus nerve, runs up and around your neck, connects your brain and other organs, and it tells your body and your mind how stressed or calm you are. We can reprogram it by slowing our breathing. There's no wrong way to slow your breathing, but here's one called box breathing. This method is used by the Navy SEALs during firefights. If it can work for them while they're being shot at, it can work for you while you're watching the news. As we breathe, we draw a box of 4 sides, counting to 4 or 5 on each side. The sides are inhale, hold your breath in, exhale, hold your breath out. Shall we draw the box together? Let's do it twice. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Now, I need a volunteer to play the earth. I need my daughter Harper again to play an asteroid.
I'm ready.
Okay. So, asteroid, you stand there. Earth, you stand here, please. The title of the sermon today is The Art of War, Your General History. And I'm here to tell you something simple today. If you want to change the world, the small things you do matter. When you hear of injustice in the world, it can feel like you stand here, defending the earth from an asteroid just about to strike, and it's all up to you. Look at this angry little asteroid. How scared the earth is. Does it feel like this sometimes? So I'm here to tell you, and Earth, if you would please stand just in front of the microphone, an asteroid, angry little asteroid back there. I'm here to tell you that you don't stand here. You stand, well, here. And the asteroid is far, far away. And as it's coming, hurtling toward the Earth, over thousands of years, you just, as it passes by, during the course of your small lifetime, you give it a little nudge. And with that little nudge, as time passes, you see, well, the asteroid did move. And you did save the Earth. Thank you, Earth. Thank you, little asteroid. Dare not drop that. Most of us here will never have a Wikipedia entry. Almost certainly within a few hundred years, even if you do have a Wikipedia entry, no one will remember your name. I'm sorry for that. No one will remember mine. Does that mean you're too insignificant to save humanity from that which threatens us? No. Because your place in history will not be the person who stood on a mountaintop and broke the asteroid with her fists. Your effect on history will be felt a very long, long time from now. Now, you place your finger on history, your tiny influence, and things don't seem to move at all, but it does. Imperceptibly, with every small act of kindness and good-heartedness through your life, you change the arc of history. The butterfly effect is real. A small kindness, a forgiveness, a meal, a smile, a sympathy, a service. Do you know how that will change a person's heart? Do you know how it will be remembered during a time when that person is presented with the choice of good or evil? And as they choose kindness and goodness and so on, as the remembrance of you fades away, can you begin to imagine the generations and generations that will move the world because of your choice? I will confess that I struggled to find historical references to small good acts that many, many years later translated into a measurable historic change. It's easy to find negative examples, because when something goes wrong, everyone wants to know why. In 2009, I found myself wandering around the Fermilab Particle Accelerator in Chicago. One of my hobbies is trying doors to see if they are locked or not. Behind an unlocked door, I found a live video conference with scientists from the CERN Particle Accelerator in Switzerland, which had just suffered a catastrophic meltdown. The researchers in the room took one look at a farm boy from Nebraska in a leather biker jacket and thought, yeah, looks like a particle physicist to me. So I stood and listened as the Swiss explained what happened to cost $24 million and months of delay. As it turns out, someone had accidentally pinched a wire this big. And I think that guy was fired. But those to blame for positive events are usually anonymous. And most positive change is cumulative. They take small efforts by many people over years and years. People who influence the world for good during the ebb and flow of government, often during times of persecution and struggle. Do you think the women's suffrage movement would have occurred without every single person who spoke and acted for women's rights? Do you think civil rights and racial equality would have made the progress they have without every nameless person acting as they did far into the past? And I don't just mean those who voted or spoke into a megaphone. I mean the nameless legions who listened patiently to a misogynist or racist in their lives, and when the time was right, gently said, well, you know. In 1879, there was a lab janitor who cleaned in the Hospital for the Insane in Philadelphia. His name was Thomas Kirkbride. When the mopping was done, his compassion for the patients overwhelmed him, and he meticulously hand-fed those with dementia to prevent them from choking on their food. It wasn't his job. He just saw suffering and acted out of care. His patience led him to observe a pattern in their behavior. And one day, Thomas the janitor had the opportunity to mention it to William the neuroscientist. You know, doctor, I noticed. A spark was lit in the mind of the neuroscientist who began to research. And from a janitor's patience and from his care came our modern understanding of the human brain and a revolution in the treatment of neurological disorders. Your kindness matters. Your generosity matters. Your care for a child matters. Your patience matters. The smile you give a stranger matters. Where you stand matters. If the length of your arm is the timeline of the history of the planet Earth, how long have humans been here?
Fraction of your fingernail.
Correct. Not that long. The arc of history of what will one day be the history of you is very, very long. The effect of the small good things you do today may never have the stamp of your name on them, but they will be felt hundreds of years from now. I have had the privilege of changing 2 people's minds in my lifetime. This is how I did it. I listened to them, and I stood where I stood. Standing for what you stand for matters, even if you don't do it with a megaphone. You stand there year after year, in the sun and the rain, in the ice and the snow and the hail, but you stand. One day someone comes by and says, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just standing here." Oh, and they leave. Time passes, your hair goes gray, more seasons of ice and snow and glaring sun, and the person comes back. "Hey, why are you standing here?" And you tell them. Another season passes, icicles hang off your jowls, your knees hurt. The person comes back. "May I stand with you?" And history moves. Here I stand. This small thing I give. Going to leave you with 2 bird metaphors. Recently, the bald eagle officially became the national bird of the United States of America. I drive for a living. In the last 2 weeks, I have seen 7 bald eagles. It's a privilege. It occurred to me that the bald eagle is a proud hunter. It catches fish in its talons as it flies and lands in a treetop to dine while looking regally over the horizon. Winning. But the bald eagle is also a scavenger. It does not mind being down in the dirt, picking over a castaway carcass, extracting value where it can to live another day. Sometimes we are winning, but sometimes our patriotism and our goodness means we are picking over the bones and living another day. On the coldest and windiest day this past week, I noticed a large group of birds huddling wing to wing beneath a bridge, just trying to stay warm. A few miles later, I saw another group of birds, a smaller group. And in the bitter cold and impossible wind, they were flying, flapping their wings as hard as they could. And they'd make a little progress, and the wind would blow them back. And they'd make a little more progress. And maybe it's my imagination, but I swear the birds pressing into the wind looked happier. Please turn to closing song number 346. Come sing a song with me.